Outgoing South African Communist Party General Secretary Dr. Nzimande says the party's congresses comes at a difficult time in our democracy amid a serious economic and energy crisis. And Nzimande has confirmed he will not be standing for the position of General Secretary after 24 years at the helm. Our reporter Mbali Thethani is at the SACP Congress. Mbali, good evening to you. Well, when Nzimande became General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Nelson Mandela was still president. This is a big moment.
You're certainly right, Stephen. And of course, we do know that the SACP is indeed holding its Congress from today until on Friday. And of course, we know that they will be electing a new leadership at the same time. So just a bit earlier on, we heard from the outgoing leadership of the SACP. And you're certainly right. Mbali Nzimande has been at the helm of the SACP as the General Secretary of the movement. Of course, 24 years at the helm. But of course, we know that coming into this Congress, some of the delegates here want him to remain in the position, while others want Solly Mapaila to take over as the new GS. But of course, let's take a listen to what characterizes this specific Congress just ahead of the moment when it begins this evening, Stephen. Let's take a listen to what Mbali Nzimande had to say a bit earlier on.
As communists, we have never run away from the responsibility in our 101 years. Usually, communists have been the first on the battlefield and the last to leave as well. Because we don't run away when we have problems. Precisely in this period, our Congress will have to be bold and say, how do we deal with the economic crisis, which is the major challenge facing our country? How do we deal with the related issue of the energy crisis, electricity crisis to be specific, that we are facing? What do we think actually needs to be done? As well as the entire political program of trying to unite ourselves, the progressive forces, and the widest possible sections of South Africans, to defeat the fight back by state capture elements. We have to defeat those. It's very important. Some of us were fired, by the way, not that we are entitled to be in cabinet or anything. We were fired, happily so, because we stood firm. We said we had thought that when Polokwane happened, we were all committed to the same thing. Retain state-owned enterprises as some of the instruments through which we can have this, create this better life for all. But we discovered that no, some of our comrades supported keeping state-owned enterprises in the hands of the state, not in order to change the lives of ordinary people, but in order to steal, as the State Capture Commission report is telling us. We thought we had the same reason, but there were different reasons. And when that happened, we said, no, comrades, but it looks like we made a mistake. We were the first to stand out as the South African Communist Party and call out against the state capture and said, that is not what we had supported in the run-up to at the Polokwane Congress of the African National Congress.
So, Stephen, this Congress comes at a very crucial time in this country where we are experiencing a number of challenges, especially challenges of the poor. When you look at the issues around electricity in this country, economic issues, a high unemployment rate. And, of course, we know that it also happens at a time where the ANC will indeed be holding its policy conference later this month. And, of course, you would know, being one of the tripartite alliance, of course, the SACP will have some of the policy proposals that they will be presenting to the ANC. But, Stephen, the program here was expected to kick off at around 5:20 this evening. But I must say, just going to step out of shot and just show you that we are expecting a number of delegates to come and stream in here. But so far, it seems as if this Congress is not going to really kick off at the time stipulated according to its program. But I must say that we have already seen a number of delegates arriving, and some are still dealing with the issues around accreditation. But we can expect this Congress to kick off this evening.
Mbali Thethani, live for you tonight at the South African Communist Party Congress. Thanks very much indeed.